chess bots are everywhere, from Martin to Mittens, and even Magnus. I'm sure you played a chess bot in the past, with chess.com giving everyone their chess bot, even streamers, personalities, and even a range of other bots, so like Martin, which I'm sure you've heard of, is obviously the worst one. But the problem with bots is they don't play very realistic moves. In fact, they usually play computery moves, and when they blunder, it almost feels fake and forced. There's a new company called Maya AI that is set out to fix that by creating a new AI trained on human games, with the only goal of it to play the most human move in any position. So without further ado, I'm going to be playing it, and should be an epic battle of man versus machine. So open with Z5, I'm just going to go Sicilian defense. Okay, very quickly he's gone with the Alapin. Okay, this is main lines, what humans will play. All theories so far. I'm going to take, this is my theory here. Going to get Mother Knight in the game. I like how they make the bot think. It's really annoying when you're playing a chess bot and it sort of just plays instantly. So yeah, this is a Maya 10. It's trained on 1500 lead chess user games. 1500 as in the rating. And basically the idea is to play the most human move in any position, which is pretty interesting. I'm just going to go d6, take a bit of central space, and it says you're going to hit my knight. I don't think this is a great move. Can I just take in the center? I think I'm not going to do that actually. I think it's sort of, it seems pretty drawish to do that. So I'm going to, yeah, here's the line I was looking for. We're going to go bishop d7. This is like, actually theory lesson here, popularized by Magnus Carlsen, this line, because it's less drawish. So there you go. Obviously at the top level, if this is basically zeros on the engine, they're just going to draw. There we go to this position. Castle's obviously a very human move. Nothing suspicious so far, so I mean it's pretty good so far. Obviously my knight here is pinned, and I'm out of theory, so I'm not actually sure what the best move here is. I have g6 as an option here, but it looks like a mistake. I don't know why. So obviously he wants to keep this knight pinned so the center doesn't collapse. I think maybe it could crumble here quite quickly. I think I'm going to take. The tension in the center is quite a lot. I've obviously got this pin here now, so it's not hindering my development too much, of course, because nothing's really pinned. The knight can move, so I could take this pawn here, because after recaptures I can take here. But then I sort of get to this queen trade, which is a bit weird. Guess I can kick the bishop, try and take the bishop pair, and if he goes back. We've got moves here. I think I'm going to do this first. I think first order of business, get this bishop to do something. What is it doing over here? Are you going to take? Okay, it takes. Which I guess I would agree probably is the most human move in the position. Because obviously if something's pinned, you either move it back or take, and you move it back, my knight's going to grab that sucker, so you're going to move it. You're probably going to take, because just get rid of it. So of course I'm going to take with the bishop. No need to split my pawns here, and obviously you're targeting the king now. So, game's on. Oh, scratch that. Queen trade on the board, I'm going to take with the rook. No need to not get my rook in the game there. And that's an interesting move. This is definitely not something human play. I'm saying that right now. No human is playing this move. It's completely failed. It's given the whole Deep Blue versus Garry Kasparov, the modern man versus machine here, and then this is a machine move right here. He's thinking, oh, you play e6, I'm going to take your rook, because obviously I'm trying to get my bishop out. But the thing is, what human is playing this? This is such a weird square for the bishop to go to. So now I can just play h6, and then go here, and I've got a big kingside attack roaring on. So I'm going to play that. I think I'm going to say, why is your bishop on a weird square? I'm going to kick it away. Obviously, it can't come forwards. It's going to have to go backwards. Yeah, and I'm going to follow. Go g4, fianchetto on my bishop, and you're absolutely laughing. Now, what's the plan? I guess just continue my development, get castled, and then we'll think of something. Obviously, queen in this middle game, it's a bit less fire involved, you know. If you have to attack, you got to use all your pieces. Okay, I could stop that in its tracks right there, but I feel like maybe it's not the best move. I'm just going to castle. I'm not going to think too much. I'm just going to castle. Keep it classical. I do think that this knight is going to struggle to get into the game over here. Okay, a6. Guess he's going for some kind of b5 or something. Oh, I should have queen. We've also got like f6. Try and get his pawn. I mean, we push again, and then we can try and trap the bishop. Actually, I kind of like that actually. I don't see anything else too pressing that we need to do right this moment. Yeah, I'm just going to go f6. Now, it does block the bishop, but it's not going to be blocked for long. I'm either going to push this pawn out of the way, or if it's exchanged, I'm going to take with the rook and get the rook in the game. Which should be interesting, because obviously I'll be threatening to take and take. Okay, now do I take the pawn on at e6, or do I push? I think pushing almost has a more concrete threat, and the bishop goes away, and he sort of... Yeah, I think this just locks away the bishop. I'm going to play this quickly. I don't think I need to analyse that too much. And this pawn, as long as it's... Yeah, okay, lock away that bishop. Bishop's now absolutely in jail. And obviously, of course, one less defender of this pawn as well. So I can play like knight b4, fork in the pawn, and here suddenly have... So it's still only two attackers, so it's not quite enough to capture yet. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for it. Jump my knight to the middle of the board, double attack in these two pawns. Yeah, of course, we're on the bad website, so the arrows look a bit different to your chess.com player like myself. Okay, so let's move knight back, which I think is a pretty ugly move. Now I've got tactics like I can take, and then take this pawn, and my knight's just raging on. Looks pretty tasty, I can't lie. Yeah, I think it's probably the best move that I've been missing for a little while, actually. I'm going to do it. Take the knight, obviously you remove the defender of this pawn, and after he takes back, I can just recapture with the bishop with the knight. I think I probably, but you can also say you don't want to, actually no, I think I'd scratch that, take the knight and target the pawn, and we can also maybe take that trash bishop. Okay, yeah. Why am I not getting my rook in the game here? Very tricky to defend this pawn, actually. If I do this, what does he even have? Because obviously I'm attacking the pawn, also attacking that he wants to exchange my rook. Interesting. Well, I can't take with the knight, I'm going to have to take with the rook, so just grab that pawn. Now it's going to be interesting to see what the human move is here, because when you don't have many pieces, it's hard to see things. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty human move. Trying to attack my knight, but obviously my knight's defended here. How do I continue to press my advantage? Got a move like, because I think I'm definitely winning. We've even got things like h6, because obviously this knight's defended. If he goes here, that pawn almost seems a bit too weak in my taste. Actually, I think he's threatening to sacrifice the rook, because he can takes, and then takes my rook here. So I think this rook doesn't really belong in touching the king. It's a bit of a weird dynamic. Where to though? We are up 2 pawns. I think the trade would be quite good for us. So I'm gonna offer that trade of rooks, because takes with the knight. Knight's in a good spot. I'm gonna get my other rook in the game, and then the pressure's almost harder to defend with 1 rook than 2. So he's gonna be defending, but I can be attacking and also hitting all his pawns at the same time. Okay, interesting. So I just not go for the trade. I guess that makes sense. If you're down pawns in the position, you don't want to trade because it just makes you closer to losing the game. I guess it seems the actual just I'm not going to think too much. Just going to double my rooks. Get on the open file. Very principled. 2 rooks on one of the only open files in the position. And my opponent has to defend here. Basically, that pawn is very weak. This bishop is pretty terrible. It's kind of funny actually. He's the AI, but I've done like a sort of almost like Alpha Zero type locking away of his bishop. Now this is just going to be very hard to get that bad boy in the game. Hits my pawn. Actually forking my pawns here, which is a little bit annoying. I think I'm going to do that actually. I've got no idea how he's going to defend this pawn over here. Try and give these ones up and then get a big attack going on here. So it takes the pawn. Going to continue with my plan here, double up the rooks. To be fair, I'm giving it my advantage a bit here, but I feel like this attack is just so strong with the 2 rooks. Now I'm getting through. And I guess my idea is to go here, pressure on the bishop, bring my bishop in. I mean, look at his king. Oh, if I have a check here, wait, is there a way to get to checkmate? I go here, that'd be checkmate. Wait, how does he even stop this? If I go back, check here, no more checks. Moves his rook, I guess. Check goes there. Actually, I'm quite low on time. I think I might just go for this. Threaten the mate. I mean, if he's really human AI, it's kind of a hard move to see that one there, because obviously you don't really know you. It's kind of hard to tell your king's boxed up. And yeah, on cue. There we go. That's GG. So here's the game. It's asking me to rate how human I think I played. I'm gonna go 3. I think. Actually, no. I'm gonna go 4. 4 out of 5. I think it's definitely, so e4, pretty standard opening, and then this is where it sort of doesn't play like a human. I think some humans are going to play this move, but it's not a very common move for people to play, I don't think. Where is it? This is the third most popular move, but by a little bit of a shot. So I guess it's sort of theory. I think 1500s don't really play that. And then we have bishop pinning my knight. Obviously bishop d7. And yeah, apparently the best move is e takes d6, but it seems like a weird move to play. I think the line here goes like e takes d6, push the pawn. Yeah, there's a snappy line with like e6, recapture with the bishop. It's quite cool. But yeah, castles is a very human move. Definitely play like a human here. I think they've done a good job here. They've always trained it really well with the different games, and then it's quite interesting because it feels like you're playing against a person. Sometimes you play an AI, and it's like it's very obvious that it's not a real human, and that's almost a problem with these things because that's why Gotham Chess usually says that you shouldn't train an AI because they don't play like a human. Basically, they sort of sacrifice weird pieces, they hang pieces in weird ways that people don't do. But this, I mean, even when it blundered, it was sort of stuff that was quite hard to see technically, because obviously a computer can sort of see everything, it sort of computes all the lines. And I think another problem with the chess.com bots like Martin or, well, I don't know, even the higher level ones for example, is they play a lot of really strong moves that'd be hard to find, but they play them anyway because they're like based on a level of Stockfish, or at least chess.com's engine. But a bot like this trained on human games plays like a human, at least as well as it can do. But when you have a bot that's trained on Stockfish, it sort of has to play like the lines. So if it's a 1700 bot, it'll play, oh yeah, I'll play the second best move at all times, or maybe alternate between the first and second or third best move. So third best move might be something obscure with a weird idea that a human's not really going to see. So playing against these bots, it's really weird. Obviously, they're really, really good at endgames in ways that maybe they shouldn't be, even if they're trying to be a certain rating, which is definitely something that we struggle with. So Haven't got to play this bot on an endgame yet, but that's another thing. So a6, takes, exchanges everything. Really saying I had to point out the game. This move is very strange. I think definitely an idea behind it, but I feel like most people are going to see the fact that you can just be attacked. And then this idea is very abstract, that trying to stop me from developing my bishop to a normal square. So obviously I hit that, get out of the way, then go g5. Now I've got a little bit of an attack here, which obviously materialised in the game. So develop my bishop, and then rook a. I feel like every human on planet Earth is playing rook e1. You don't want to move your rook to a square where your other rook would probably want to go, because you can't cross your rooks over. If you want to move your rook back, then you have to relinquish control of this pawn, which would be a big tactical concession. So you only really see people getting 2 rooks scared like this when it's you want to play f4. And with knight there, mine's not playing f4 anytime soon, so I just castle, and then we have this idea f6. I wonder what the engine was saying. Was this best move? Engine was saying knight e5. What about f6? Is it a blunder? Ooh, engine doesn't really like it. Says it's equality, but I feel like from a practical standpoint, it was interesting. So I push. There we go. The bishop's trapped. Moves back, and I find the tactic takes. Yeah, I thought I'd be wanting me to take there. Taking the center. King decides to go up in the game, and he goes here, and then I decide to take the pawn, go back, offer the exchange, get both my rooks in the game. Still playing like human. I think human's going to take this pawn, but then this move, human's probably going to take this one too, which it does, and I take on the side of the board. Moves the bishop back, which obviously you have to do. I mean, you could also defend the bishop, which maybe would be a slightly more human move. You can see here, because then if I take, you also get to move here. But oh no, this doesn't work actually, because takes, and take the knight. So I understand I didn't blunder that, to be honest. And we got knight g6. It's an interesting plan of rotating the knight, try and get a little cheeky checkmate, and obviously the bot blundered it. I don't know how it works, to be fair, so I don't know if it saw this or not. But anyway, quite an interesting game. Quite a cool checkmate in the end. I guess in the sort of deep blue, humanity versus man versus machine, I'm Garry Kasparov, and that was deep blue. So I guess humanity's safe for now. So if you enjoyed that one, here's another video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. If you enjoyed the video, and also there's more videos coming out, so I hope to see you guys in the next one.